Again, somebody's asked a very nice question. How do we compute beta? It's actually very hard. So it's actually not easy. It's doable through some simulations. It's doable. So let's assume okay. So let me give you an idea on how to do that. Right? It's not easy. You can do sort of like a simulation study. So to compute, for example, imagine if you have permutation test. Imagine suppose we have permutation resampling test. For the permutation resampling test, what is beta? What is false positive rate? What is this beta? How do we compute false type 1 error and type 2 error? How do we do that? It's not that easy. So in whole of statistics, there are broadly two ways of proving or obtaining these numbers. One is a simulation based approach. The second is called a pure, like a proof based approach, right? A proof based approach is extremely hard for a PR test or a permutation resampling test. So what a lot of people do is a simulation. How can you do a simulation? Let's take it. So you repeat this experiment many times, one, two, like some 1 million times. Repeat this. What do we repeat? First, we try to generate some setup like this, where again, what is PR test trying to say? That XC is similar to XT. Okay, for our setup. And what is a test statistic? It is the median difference. So for this specific setup, we can do it. Now there is another problem. This XC and XT are random variables, right? They can come from any distribution in the world. They can be Gaussian distributed. They can be any distribution. And you can't simulate all the infinitely many types of distributions that are there. So in your simulation, you will limit yourself and say, I will assume that XC and XT are coming from some distributions which are similar to what I observe, right? And you will also say that I will assume that that my test statistics is the median diff. You will only do the simulation in this limited setup. Otherwise, it's impossible to do it, because there are infinitely many test statistics that you can do, right? There are infinitely many types of distributions for XC and XT. So in this simulation, what we do is this. Let's go step by step. We first generate some data XC and XT. Okay, so we will operate first. Let's see this column first. Okay, we will actually generate XC and XT coming from same distribution. We'll synthetically generate this data through a simulation, which means the null hypothesis is actually true. The null hypothesis is actually true in this. So when the null hypothesis is actually true, we will generate similar setup many times, and we'll say how many times did we accept the null hypothesis, how many times did we accept the alternative hypothesis. Again, we are only doing this simulation given that XC and XT come from a specific distribution for this test statistic only. Otherwise, this problem will simply explode. So we will take cases where we'll take two worldviews. One world where H0 is actually true, and we will generate some 1 million samples, and we'll see, okay, 98% of the times the null hypothesis is actually accepted, 2% of the times the null hypothesis is rejected, or the alternative hypothesis is accepted. Then we'll say, for our setup, when XC and XT come from these distributions, and for a given M and N, that's also important. Sample sizes are also important. For a given N and M, for a given test statistic, because this is all done through simulation, right? We will say that 2% of the times we have false positive. Similarly, we'll do 1 more million times, where we'll say we'll generate data from this distribution for this test statistic, for these N and M values. We will generate we'll generate a data where XC has a different distribution to XC. Different distribution. We'll change the distributions. And then we will say, how many times did we actually accept the null hypothesis? Maybe this is 96% of the times. And how many times did we accept the H0, right? That could be 4%. So this sort of setup through which you can get the power, right? The power is basically this 96%. So we can get power, type 1, type 2 errors, and also the how many times we accept H0 given that H0 is true, only under a simulation setup. The proof-based structure will work for simpler tests. So simpler tests in specific situations only. For example, there are simple tests like t-test, which has been studied for almost I think probably a century now. T-test is already studied for more than a century now. For that, statisticians have tried to come up with various mathematical techniques to come up with what the power is and things like that in limited settings. But anything that you want to do with the resampling and permutation test, you have to do it through simulation. Okay, so that's a good question. Now your question could be, how do we do this simulation? Let's see that, right?